So this lady just
Is
made a
it a
video about Dylan
psychological disorder
Mulvaney.
if someone is obsessed with
Hold on.
embodying a
About Dylan Mulvaney having an obsession with Audrey Hepburn, and showing that as a preteen, um, that this person would have photos of Audrey Hepburn in his bedroom hanging on the wall. And I looked it up, and Audrey Hepburn passed away in 1993. Dylan Mulvaney was born in December 1996. So 3 years after Audrey Hepburn passes away, and I knew there was something about the essence or the style of Dylan that I was like, where do I know that style? Of course, Breakfast at Tiffany's and all these different movies that Audrey Hepburn did. Is it possible? Because I believe in spiritual things. Is it possible that Dylan Mulvaney actually could be, and I know this is going to piss a lot of people off, could actually be a reincarnated Audrey Hepburn? Is it possible? I mean, it's making me think. This person is had reconstruction surgery to look more like Audrey Hepburn, and even as a man or young teen, I gotta be honest, he looked like Audrey Hepburn. Now that this person has brought this to my attention, um, in my mind, it is possible because I believe in those spiritual connections. I believe in reincarnation. I believe that it is very possible that Dylan Mulvaney could actually be a reincarnated Audrey Hepburn, which would be, a reason for this person to think I'm in the wrong body, especially having gained a lot of fame in a female body as Audrey Hepburn. If this person actually did reincarnate and is a reincarnated Audrey Hepburn, then it would go to say it is possible in my mind. Other people don't have belief in reincarnation. I do. But it would be very, very possible that Dylan has memories as Audrey Hepburn. It is very, 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 very possible. And the clothing style for Dylan, it's not really the type of style that somebody in this era in 2023 would take on, because that person's style is very much in the 1960s, 1970s type style, like early 1960s. So a lot of the style that person has, is like Audrey Hepburn. The style is identical, actually. But this is the thing. It doesn't negate the fact that when you come into this world, you are. This is the structure. This is the mathematical structure of this world. You have binary structure, and his binary structure is he came in as a man, even if in a previous life was a female. I mean, I've gone to a lot of psychics that have done readings, and even my ex, and have said, oh, well, in such and such lifetime that you had, which I already realize, and I know too, because every human being carries on characteristics. They can have spiritual energies of male and female, right? So you might have reincarnated from being a man in one lifetime to a female or a woman in another lifetime. But those binary codes remain. They do remain. When you come into the world in the gender that you are, that is your gender. The whole point of changing genders from one experience, reincarnation, to a next, it is to have full understanding, to elevate your spiritual awakeness of different genders. And when you forcibly change your gender, you're not having the full experience. This is my perception. You are not having the full experience of that gender that you come into the world as. So what spirit is really trying to teach each human being when they reincarnate is to be it's to be accepting of, you know, your incarnation. I did a regression, and one of my regressions was, you know, being a cell, an actual single cell. That's very humbling. Okay? So even that single cell is very powerful, because that single cell in this incarnation was in the body of somebody that was cancer ridden. So that cell um, basically sacrificed itself as a single cell organism in the body. Me, this is my experience, to help that person live. So, yes, in that incarnation as a single cell being, in another human being, that experience was death for that cell. So, I have a whole lot of different spiritual concepts, but it's still like I still want to bring it back to the fact that Dylan did come into this world as a male. And even though Dylan's spirit, even if that spirit is the reincarnation of a previous being called Audrey Hepburn, the whole point of the experience is to be in that body that that person came into, and not to relive what you've already experienced as, let's say, Audrey Hepburn. So, those are my thoughts. I have a lot to say about it, but it's hard to speak to that type of information because everybody isn't on the level of that type of information. So it would be very foreign to a lot of people that might listen to what I have to say. That's it.